Hi everybody, my name is Jessica and I am the Education Curator here at Northwest Truck Wildlife Park. And I am here to show you how to do a super fun, super fast stick snail. This is an easy little craft. Kids of all ages can do this. Really simple supplies. All we need is a paper bag. It's going to just be any old paper bag. You're going to need to find yourself a stick that's going to have the forked top to make your your snail tentacles. You're going to need some scissors and some markers and either glue or tape, or I even have just some paper clips here. I also have some tape, and I want to show you we're making a snail craft today, and I have a snail tape dispenser. So those are the simple supplies that we're going to need. You're going to start with your paper bag, and you're going to actually cut the bottom off of it so that you have one flat sheet of paper bag. Once you've cut that off, then we're going to go ahead and crumple it up just to give it a little bit of texture. We're going to uncrumple it, and then we're going to start to fold it. And depending on how fat you want your snail shell to be, so I'm making mine about 1 inch wide, we're just going to start folding it. And you don't have to really fold it really tight. Notice I'm not creasing it down on the table. Just going to fold it. And now I'm going to put it down on the table so it's not in front of my face. But we're just going to keep folding it over and over and over until it's all covered up. So now is the chance where if you want to color your shell, go ahead and you can get paint, markers, whatever you want. Maybe you want to put a little bit of color on. So see, I just have this all flat like this. And then I'm just gonna put on a little bit of color on my shell. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, or it can be super fancy if you want, but I'm just gonna go fast so that you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna put a little bit of color. And so I just have a little bit of color on my shell. And now we're gonna start to roll it up. So we don't wanna roll it super, super loose, but not so tight that our shell is too tiny. So just go ahead and start rolling. You might wanna roll it a little bit tight at the beginning, just to start that shell. And then you can get a little bit more loose. And if you need to kind of flatten or rearrange your paper along the way, go ahead and do that just to kind of keep it in that shell shape. Now it might want to kind of flatten out and you want a round shell. So just squish it up, just kind of start to make it that roll instead of that flat crease. And then we're just going to roll it, keep rolling it right up. Roll it all the way up. And you can see if you have a bigger piece of paper, you can have a bigger snail shell. Now you can either glue your snail shell here. I'm going to put some tape on mine using my super fun snail tape dispenser. Just put a little bit of tape on the bottom of it just to hold it in place. And if you need to hold the edges in place, maybe if you glued it, you can just use a paper clip and slip it on there to hold that in place while the glue dries, if that's what you've done, what you've decided to do. So here we have our snail shell. And now if you want to color the outsides of your snail shell, you can either paint or use marker. I'm going to put a little bit of marker, have a little bit of a purple on the inside of my shell, a little bit of blue because blue is my favorite color. A little bit of blue on this side. Again, paint, marker. If you're gonna do the outside of your shell, the paint does a little bit better job to kind of get in all those little crevices. But then remember, it's gonna take a little bit longer to dry too. So if you have not wound your shell too tight, you could also use a stapler to hold it in place if you don't wanna use the tape, the glue, or the paper clips. So you've got lots of options to hold your shell in place. So once you have it all colored and your shell is ready to go, Now you're going to give your snail its home. So I have a stick here, and you want to find a stick that has a Y-shaped, or kind of the two prongs at the end, because that's going to be your snail tentacles. And if you find one that's slightly curved up, even better, because that's going to look even more like a little snail kind of investigating its world. So now all you have to do is attach your shell to your stick. And I'm just going to do that again with tape. You could do it with glue, with hot glue, whatever you have available. But I'm just going to put a little bit of tape right on the bottom of my snail shell. And then I have my little happy snail in its shell. Now this little snail can go out and explore the world around him. Another one, a little bit more paper, a little bit bigger bag, give you a little bit bigger shell, or we've got a little snail shell here too. So lots of good fun with our snail craft and our snail friends. I hope you enjoyed doing this craft, and you can go ahead and make yourself a whole little family of snails that can go play here in the Pacific Northwest. If you want to learn more crafts, I encourage you to check out our website at nwtrek.org. You can go to our learning section. We have more crafts. We have scavenger hunts, bingo games, and even science experiments for you to enjoy. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.